This is Loyiso Nabe Street. It is in Kaili Chalita Park, Phase 2. It is where he calls home. He stays here with his wife, 3 kids and mother. His wife's name is Neliswa. The oldest child is Kamani, the middle is Oluhle, and the youngest child is Viko. The Nabes start their morning off to work with a prayer.
Kwindawo ngendawo sizoba kuzo namhlanje sicela usixolele izono zethu zona ngokuthetha nangokwenza siyabulela bawo ukuthi usenguthixo othembekileyo sicela usincede kule mina namhlanje usikhokhele ube nathi kule misi elungileyo bonke bawo usakwenza kwenzeka intando yakho igama lakho Yesu Kristu amen.
His first mission before heading to work is to drop off his youngest bundle of joy at crash, then drop the wife at the taxi rank, then drop the oldest at his school, then the last at her school in town. After he is done with all of that, he drives to work. His work doesn't revolve around the office. As a PR person, he mostly works outdoors. He said that the purpose of the videos he was taking was so that he can create a video that will show some of the beauty Cape Town has to offer. While we were waiting for some of his colleagues to arrive, I wanted to know a bit about his childhood.
I'm a Cape Townian, you know. I grew up in Cape Town, Kwalanga, since I was born and up until 1988. So as a kid, I was introduced into sport from an early age because my mother was a tennis coach, and she was a teacher and a tennis coach. So to keep me busy, wherever there were tournaments, I ended up playing tennis.
Before he fell in love with soccer, he told me that he tried a lot of different sporting codes, which never hit the core of his heart. Then when he discovered that he had love for soccer, he never looked back.
I always wanted something more from what I did, not just to have a ceiling. So then Lokshini, you play street soccer. And I used to play street soccer, but I never really understood what I was doing. I was still young. But at the same time, I was passionate about basketball. So I played, and then I said, okay, well, this soccer thing, I kind of like it, soccer. I kind of like it. Let me try it. So I told my mom, listen, I'm dropping a basketball, and I'm going to pursue soccer. So she bought me my first soccer boots, Jomosono King. They were expensive at that time. Puma boots, nice Puma boots. And then bought me socks, shin guards. And then, funny thing is, I had 4 shin guards. I used to wear my shin guards front and back. Front and back. Because I didn't want people to kick me and break me. Yeah, well, so I didn't understand the game, the fundamentals, but I knew people wore shin guards. So they don't break. So I said, okay, I'm gonna go the extra mile and protect myself. So once the type of person I am, when I do something, I give my all. So with soccer, we started. I played. There was a local team called Everton, amateur team. I played soccer and I enjoyed it. I was actually horrible. I was terrible. If I look back, I was horrible.
We talked for many hours, but I wanted to find out how he ended up at Cape Umoya Football Club and what exactly he does at the club. So he said before we talk about this job, he wanted us to go to where the team trains, which is in Usual, so that I can see what he actually does before he goes and edits the footage he gathers. After he was done at the field, he said that he doesn't have to be at the office in order to do his work. So we went home where he was going to show me more about how he compiles his videos and how he handles social media. So on our way, I wanted him to talk more about his life.
I met my wife for the first time. Waichomi yam yena no Neliswa no Nelisa. They were my friends. Yeah, so it was nice. And then I went into one of these. I was one of these multiracials, and then went to a multiracial school. Yeah, so I went to a multiracial school from all grade or standard 2, and then zange nambona after that. Yeah, but from most of my childhood, I was always involved with sports since the age of 4. I think in my working years, my early years of my work, I met my wife again through Sister Wake, because I used to travel no Sister Wake to transporting in a staff transport. And then that's when I met her, because actually she got robbed the week before. So thankfully for those guys who robbed her, and then was really transporting. So when she came into her transport, she's like, I know you. And I'm like, hey, I'm Muslim, you know, and I think she was hitting on me or something. Oh. But she said, I know you. And then we started to rekindle, like, yeah, you're my friend and all that stuff. So we became friends for about a year or so. And then we started dating, because she was single and I was single. So we started dating. And 4 years later, we got married. And we've been married for 11 years, if I'm not mistaken. If my maths is correct, we've been married for 11 years. And it's been great. I think she's the perfect woman for me. She puts me in my place. I put her in her place. I think with her being in my life, I've always grown. I've always become a better person. She has always pushed me to do better. She has always allowed me to sink and crumble and become weak when I need to be. So that's one thing I think I enjoy about being married to her. I've given her a lot of gray hairs, but at the end of the day, I think I wouldn't trade her for anything. She's the best thing I've ever achieved. She's my greatest achievement. My second greatest is football, but she's the best thing I've ever had.
Before we went to his place, he had to go and pick up his wife. So I also wanted to find out from his wife how he was and how he is right now as a husband.
And he made me fall in love with his sport, or his soccer. To me, it was like watching a game in soccer. It's fine, I'm a fan of the parades. But he made me to fall in love with his soccer, irrespective of where it's played as an amateur or a professional, but I fell in love with soccer. Now, as a husband, as a father, he is more of a leader. He is into development in terms of he is a community builder. And one thing I love about him, it's not about abantu ngaphandle. It all starts at home. He wants to develop me as a wife career-wise. He wants to develop the kids career-wise, and also to prepare them for a future life. And mostly he has a heart for abantwana abangongo bakhe, which is I love about him. So he has grown as well as a leader. He has his flaws. He's not a perfect guy. He's not a perfect leader. But one thing that amazes me is his love for football and his love for abanye abantu, especially abantwana.
We talked for many hours, but I wanted to find out how he ended up at Cape Umoya Football Club and what exactly he does at the club.
Basically, I will do this and try and maybe I'll cut him out, because my aim is to get a Powerade showing. So this is the picture. I've got him there, Powerade, team attire, that's it, and then I'll save it. All right. Then once I'm done, I'll go into a social media account. So I'll go on Twitter and our Facebook page. Like today, what I did was So this was today's post where this is the guy where I said, we know it's off-season, but the golden rule remains the same at all times. Stay fresh and obey your thirst. And then I'll tag Coca-Cola and Powerade SA and then put on the hashtags of the team. And there's the picture right there. So this is what I do for the club.
Apart from editing photos and videos for the club, he also has to handle social media accounts of the club, such as the Twitter account, Facebook account, and Instagram account.
I also work on my laptop to follow other clubs. While I'm working here, I'm also following Izmi team, what's going on with Stellenbosch. They had their awards. So I'm working on my phone whilst I'm also following what's trending at the moment on Twitter, what's happening on Facebook. When I look at Facebook, we've got inbox where we get replies. Like we've got our inbox here where people are sending either they're commenting or there's messages. Then I have to reply to those messages on a daily basis. I can do this from home. I don't have to be at the office. I can do this at the training ground. But as long as I'm working over here, I'm editing my stuff, and then I'm also attending to messages. I'm attending to Instagram comments, Facebook comments.
He loves soccer so much that he decided to start his own team. And every day after work, that is where he spends most of his time, coaching the young boys and his senior team till the late hours of the day. His assistant coach also told me a bit about what kind of a person he is.
Ndifike apha ngo-December actually, 2018 December, which is now March 2019. Obviously, I knew the man for almost 3 months now. So ndifike apha etimini as ndizojonga nje iteam ukuba okay ndiyabona amajita bayajima, but then I got interested in what he was doing, and then because ndisuka I was also a player, and then I was planning on retiring, so because of the injuries and all that. So that it is a dream. Okay, I visit at his house and all that. We chat as brothers, and okay, we're a family, I'm in a family, so we've got something in common. So yeah, when he talks about his family, I talk about my family as well, and then family-wise we give advices amongst each other. Yeah. So yeah, he's a great guy, man. He's a great guy.
Me and Mr. Nabe spent the whole day together, and I wanted to hear his final words.
This is a day. This is how I spend my day. This is I call it a day well spent. It's all about football from start to finish. I can say football has always been part of my life. It will always be. It's something. I left my job at Cape Umoya, where I worked for 10 years. I left because I felt I wasn't doing something that like a calling. I've always been involved in football. So I invested in football. I trusted God, and I'm here today. I'm not going to stop. This is a life. Loyiso.